Alright, it's day 4. Today's leaving day. I've got most of my stuff packed up. Ryan and Woody are packing up the trail and rock right now. Just wanted to, this will be a real short video, but if you've never been to one of the Southern Rock Racing Series events, I highly recommend it. That was a real show that they put on. It was a lot of fun, and the food was good, the racing was good, and the riding afterward was good, even though it was a little wet. We got kind of a downpour there at the end of the night. Anyway, I'm just going to do some parting footage here, just to kind of give the folks out there that watch my videos that maybe are not into this yet kind of an idea what to expect. I just wanted to mention Halfmoon Campground again. I've had real good experiences at Windrock Campground and Halfmoon. I will say the Halfmoon, we ran into a little issue that was mostly our fault, and they really helped us out, and I really appreciate that, and they went above and beyond what they needed to do to make us have a good trip. I've got about a 3-hour trip back. I think it's supposed to be beautiful weather today. I hate leaving on probably the prettiest day that we're here. The sun's almost out and blue skies, and it's definitely not going to be dusty at Windrock today.
Very nice.
Hey, buddy. I wonder if he's the duck rounder up there. Man, it's gonna be really pretty today.
I know. Sunshine.
Do what?
That's how we roll. We ain't gonna do it in sunshine. What? Right.
I'm sure they got cabins available everywhere now. We can just stay another couple days. The DOT ain't doing nothing tomorrow important. So the DOT ain't doing nothing tomorrow important.
It is. I'll pay my paycheck. Everything's there. There ain't gonna be no direct deposit.
They got yeah. You at least get one more paycheck. Why are you having to look at how he did it? This is your trailer. Make sure he did it right.
Wait, this will drive you over here, sir? You want to inspect mine?
I don't think it's coming off. Oh man, that sun just came out. I did finally get to use this on a video. If you didn't see it, took a couple camera shots. Actually couldn't get out of the RZR because this door was basically all against the bank. I ended up having to crawl out, but I wasn't able to get the camera. But this was all the way against the bank. And for those of y'all that have commented, the reason I ended up having a winch is because this tire was all the way down in the ditch, not on the bottom of the ditch, but the whole upper side of this tire was against the bank, so it was undercut up against it. So whether you tried to go forward or backwards, it was pretty much either really pushing the tire down, trying to go backwards and lifting the front end up, which didn't do me any good, and going forwards, it was keeping the tire up but pulling the front end up. So there's really no easy way out other than risking, breaking something or flipping to get out of that little hole. winching it worked great. I was able to control the Razor and get it, you know, all up and by the rocks. And just if you're wondering where it was at, it was on Trail 30, leaving Halfmoon here, going up. They have a bypass in now, which it's muddy. There's another video I think on yesterday's video where there's a little bit of a heavy clay hill climb that you got to do that you have to get some wheel spin to get up it. But they do have a bypass around that now, and that little section was fun. If you had a little bit wider machine, you could probably straddle that and make it, but I was just a little bit too short. But no damage this weekend, so I'm happy. I didn't even lose a center cap, which is amazing. Almost everywhere we went, you had a lot of forward force, but side-to-side motion. You know, it was really wet and muddy, so the chance of sliding into a rock, and I slid into a couple, but generally when it slid, it you know, scuffed up the rock protectors there. But all in all, good weekend. Got to use the tree straps that I bought several trips ago. It's the first time I got to use those. Those worked really well. I got those on Amazon. If you're looking for these, if you're looking for some easy way of getting around a tree without having to hook back up on your winch line, these are really inexpensive and they work really good. Another thing I wanted to mention, and this is kind of more of a long-term thing, these PRP seats that I have, they look really nasty right now, but I have not had any problems getting these clean, and they're still just as good a condition as when I bought them new, when I get them cleaned up. Did get to use the radio a whole lot this trip. It worked great. I finally got to use the fuel can I bought. One thing I'll mention about the fuel can, a lot of folks commented the very first Windrock trip that I went and I got that clear can, they were kind of against it. I think the thinking was that somebody could see that you had fuel in it or whatever. Well, for me that's important. It's a lot easier to pour fuel into the Razor if the can is clear. One, you can see where to flip it, and that vent top there, you want to make sure that there's no fuel up at it when you release that vent, and a clear can makes it a lot easier to do. That worked really well. Generally I'm coming up here with a toy hauler and I've got a fuel station in it, so I really don't get a lot of use out of that, but this trip I got to use that quite a bit. If anybody's wondering, these springs, as you can see, these are the springs from other video, and I'll put a card to that. Still doing really well. I have not had to touch them. I haven't lost any height. Super happy. This is by far probably one of the best upgrades other than the seats that I've done to the Razor that have really made a big difference in riding. The seats, obviously I can ride, you know, hours and hours and hours with the suspension seats without killing my back. I'm getting older, so that was important. And these springs have kept clearance and have a very, very smooth ride, smoother than stock. And then I still have all the ground clearance that I had, maybe a little bit more than when I had it stock. Okay, we're gonna get on the road. I may shoot some video on the way back, I may not, depending on what the traffic looks like and if there's anything interesting. But I just wanted to do a quick closing video, and thank y'all for watching, and should have some more videos coming out pretty soon. My local park opens up, I'm gonna do some videos up there. And it's kind of getting into a little bit easier machining season, so there'll be some machining videos as well as the temperature warms up down in the shop. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Traffic's a little backed up on the way home through the I-40 tunnel. We're gonna get close, I guess, to the slide area again, but it didn't really affect this lane. I'm really interested to see why the traffic's backed up here at the tunnel, but looks like I see the light at the other end. As you can see, the trip back has been absolutely beautiful. I live in the mountains, but you know, any day that there's a clear blue sky like this after a big rain, it's usually really pretty. like they're doing some work up here on the right lane. Just a little bonus footage from the departure trip here. Alright, we finally made it back to my mountains. Pretty windy here. And you know, we've had some slide damage here in our area. I think I'm coming up on a section now. I'm going to try to get this thing up and get a quick pressure wash, initial pressure wash, and get it cleaned off so I can get in it without getting too nasty. But overall, good trip, and probably I've got, I don't know, 6-7 hours maybe through next week getting things cleaned up. I think I'm going riding again on the 23rd of March here locally. So I don't have much time to get everything ready to go again, and then it'll be toy hauler time next time that I go. I'll be taking it with me. Anyway, kind of glad to be home. Here's some of the slide damage we had. Kind of blocked the road up for a little while.